Now, joining us for more on this is this British journalist, Jonathan Sacerdoti. Now, Jonathan, thank you so much for joining us this morning. It's being reported that Prince Harry is getting at least $20 million up front to publish his memoirs. Now, he said he will be donating all the proceeds to charity. Do you honestly think that will be the case?
Well, I certainly don't know. I guess we have to take him at his word. I've read a little bit of speculation of whether or not there's some tricksy language going on there, whether it means the proceeds after the advance, maybe the profits after that. But I would assume that if he's saying he's giving it all to charity, he certainly wouldn't want the negative attention of not doing so afterwards.
Well, now this book is set to be published next fall. That is actually the same year as the Queen's historic Platinum Jubilee, celebrating 70 years since she was crowned. Is this intentional?
Well, certainly I think it would be safe to say that Prince Harry has some degree of control over when this book will be coming out. He's in a position of power in writing it, and he could negotiate with his publishers any date he wanted within reason to release it. And it has been noted that this will steal a lot of attention from that important anniversary for the Queen. She's the first to reach that point as a monarch. She's the longest reigning monarch. And this is a massive celebration for her. She's in her 90s. So there are some people who are saying that this is really stealing that attention away from the Queen on this very important day, not just from the Queen, from the whole country, which will be celebrating that.
Well, with that being said, do you think that the Queen will take this as being disrespectful and even withdraw Harry and Meghan's invitation to the Jubilee?
I can't speak for Her Majesty the Queen, but I can certainly say that there are tons of people in the United Kingdom here who do think it's disrespectful. There are people who, from regular people on the street to people higher up, to people on TV, to commentators in the newspaper and the press, many of them think that this is disrespectful, and it's only the latest in a line of disrespectful acts that have been carried out by the Duke and the Duchess of Sussex. We just need to think about their interview with Oprah Winfrey, the James Corden interview, the allegations they've made about racism, about mental health awareness in the royal family, about neglecting mental health of those members of the family, bad parenting on the part of Prince Charles and in turn his parents. The list of allegations against them goes on and on. Some of those, of course, might be true. It's not for me to say how easy or difficult it was for Prince Harry to grow up in an extremely unusual set of circumstances. But I think that perhaps sometimes they're forgetting in their constant talk about these things that have befallen them, that they live in a position of enormous privilege. They live in a $14 million mansion in Montecito, whether it has a rescue chicken coop or not. They certainly are people who are not connected with the ordinary man or woman on the street. And perhaps his attempt in writing this book is to show that the problems he had in his life maybe explain some of the bad behavior. Remember, even he himself dressed up as a Nazi age 20 at a party, and now he puts himself forward as a paragon of anti-racism. So I think he'll be trying to humanize himself, and I think he'll be trying to show that his problems in his very privileged and wealthy life are perhaps similar to some of those problems of the ordinary man or woman on the street like you or me. I think it's a very big ask to get people to buy into that, though.
Well, like you were saying earlier, the Oprah Winfrey interview was kind of the interview heard around the world. There's a lot that came out of that. Do you think that this exploitment of the royals will continue from Harry moving forward?
I think that Prince Harry made a very deliberate choice to leave the United Kingdom and to leave his role as a working royal. And I think that's had a very negative effect on public opinion of him here in the UK. Certainly in the most recent polling that I've seen on this, the British public was asked 2 months ago whether or not he should have his title removed along with his wife's. And 44% of people said that they should lose their royal titles. And 20% of people said they should stop using them anyway, even if they don't lose them. And his approval rating as well, he's got this 97% recognition rating. He's very well known, but he's only liked by 31% of people. 44% of people actually don't like him actively, and that's been going down. That's dropped as well. The number of people who like him has dropped since the last quarter's polling on this same topic. So I think there's a question of public opinion and how much support they have here in the UK. Whether it's the same over there in the States, you can tell me, but I think that more and more people are beginning to get tired of being told what victims Harry and Meghan are and how life is so difficult for them, when it certainly doesn't look that way to many people around the world who don't live with the enormous privilege and wealth that they do.
Well, this is certainly going to be a story to keep following, especially after that memoir comes out next fall. Jonathan Sacerdoti, thank you so much for joining us today.